Good evening. Bemawan Aji, Wajimahima. Inye Juweze Yatunizin, Ghana great and strong. And this evening we are going to, well, we'll try to talk about 3 topics. 1, infrastructure. Are the infrastructure projects going on today in Ghana? Are they the right type? Is it what we need today? And then we'll talk about taxes. Taxes. Where are we heading with the taxation program? And what do other people do? We'll talk about that one briefly. And then we'll come back and revisit the topic of coalition. This is an election year, so we'll talk some politics, coalition. And you agree, oh, yesterday, Aban, Orisi Bridge, interchange, bypass, car kwan, our forefront infrastructure. Yabaka Hasab. You saw Yabaka, a tour, Wajijihan, a tour, Aban, Wajijihan. If you watch what's so fee, Hinakotium. If you saw Kogoma, it's ya. If you saw a Jumani Yahon Faswa, and also it's your company tax. Now, a fee, Aza, a manyaku ne binum, wobum, nkabum, ejuma, doboko, na wako. A campaign, wako election. Maybe a wako benim, boom, na we bumanin. It's a forefront coalition. No, but before we come to today's topic, I want to give you some of the text messages that came after the program last week, and I want to make sure that the people don't feel that we ignored your text messages. So I'll just go through some 3 or 4 of them. Remember, we talked about the banking system. I described a little bit about microfinance, savings and loans, the universal banks, the need for better supervision, the need for strict monitoring, and the reason why you and we must be concerned about our banking system, because we don't have the kinds of support and the kinds of help that other people get in other countries, such as in the UK and in the US, where they have deposit insurance, where they have central banks that are active, and governments that have money to support the banking system when it goes bad. Yaka sika sam kanka sika owo bank no asam da pino abesu no kwe ono no ho nsam ne bi ena medzibotuga. Most of the comments had to do with the topic, and because I talked about banks, and because I also referred specifically to the GN Bank, there were a number of questions associated with the GN Bank. And if the management of GN Bank, if they are watching, listening, they should deal with these questions. Someone says, I'm in Chisa, and I was asking the question, where can I locate GN Bank in Ashanti Akim South? That's one question. Another question, someone said, well, he is in Edum, but his view is where the GN Bank office is in Edum is not in the center of Edum, and he would wish that GN Bank will either relocate or find an office to open in Edum. There's another person who says he's in Kejetia, and he finds it difficult, it's an inconvenience for him to go to where GN Bank presently is located, and he would like something different to happen. Well, there are some other topics or some other text messages that came that had to do with the Bank of Ghana. Osajifo Kofi Stanley from Suhum wrote, "Papa, God bless you for this program. I think the monitoring department of BOG should be punished for failing to live up to expectations." That's his view. Abdul Duku from Tamale wrote that, "Thank you for educating us about the banking system." And someone that doesn't have a name here, he says, "Thank you very much for your contributions to our country. You will be forever praised in our hearts." And then there's a bit of politics. There's a bit of politics. Someone wrote, "Please, when are we PPP going to unveil our flag bearer for the 2016 election?" I'll talk about this when I talk about the coalition topic, when we do a little politics in the program. And also in line with politics, someone from Ifutu in the Cape Coast area says, I am a teacher from Cape Coast, and I want to be your campaign manager, because Ghanaians have seen that NDC and NPP can't do anything good for Ghana, so I'm there for you." Well, that's from Ifutu in Cape Coast. There are some other messages. So someone who was asking me the question, how do I assess President Mahama's presidency or his administration? Well, one day I'll get to that topic. Not today. One day I'll get to that topic. Fuseni from Bibiani was asking, how are we structuring the PPP to be strong at the grassroots? Then Larry from Anya Sotum says, "Once upon a time we were asked to pay a tax for the toll recovery levy. What happened to those monies that we are still being asked to pay energy levies as well?" And he says quite simply, "Hey, Ghana." Now, already there are some people who have been calling me. Now, let me say it again. The number we have here, that number is for you to send me text messages. The 020-7566-185. It's not a telephone number. It is our WhatsApp number. So please use that one, not to call, but to send me text messages. And anytime that you try to call, when I'm trying to read a text message, I can't read it. So please text. Please don't call. Well, those are some of there were some other ones, but those are some of the messages that people sent. There are a number of you who said, "It's very important. I would like to talk to you personal." Someone says, "Please, how can I get in touch with Dr. Idom?" Well, I think we can find a way. There's another person who says, "Kindly permit me to be a member of your party, please." You don't need any permission from me to become a member of the Progressive People's Party. You just go, sign up, get your membership card, pay your dues, and you are a member. That's all. I would like to find a way to talk to the person who sent. There's someone who sent a message, and I want for the person to know that I'm going to send his message to the right place. he's talking about some inconveniences to do with the operations of GN Bank, and I'll make sure that that message goes to the right place. So, I was just about to shift course. Okay, I was just about to shift course, and there's a text message that has disrupted my thinking a little bit. In Chebebefi bank asamunu na mako ende in sama yakade yaba bro ende no na obi wachrom na also friend Richard Idrisa ofi jura chinim Elmina na osi doctor ma eye wo hina no yepe yamin show na what's there me pere Missy supermarket where Elmina na na se mo kan yi de enjo pere yesi hospital so Elmina a private hospital hono na samiyin someone from GHM in Elmina says, I really admire all you do for us here. I really appreciate it. God bless you, sir. I heard of a supermarket you want to build. But how about adding a hospital as well in Elmina, a private hospital? Well, thank you very much. But we'll get to our topics for today. And today, as I mentioned, there are three topics that we're going to discuss. One has to do with infrastructure for development. So let's begin. Infrastructure. Last week I was going to Accra from Elmina. And on the way, I saw a long line of cars. And I said, how could it be that at this time of the day, during the week, it was around 1 p.m. that I get to Budumburum, going towards Kaswa, and there is such a long line, a long queue of vehicles, and all standing, waiting. Well, what I didn't know, but I found out later, was that President John Dramani Mahama and his people were passing. They had stopped traffic. What were they doing there? It was there to, I don't know whether it was to commission, it was to break ground, it was to cut sword about this Kaswa overpass. From there, they moved to the bypass. So I kept wondering, but what are they doing? Because the bypass, the interchange or the overpass project, it's been going on for some time. Those of us who are associated with the going back and forth, Accra to Elmina, Accra to Cape Coast, Accra to Takoradi, we know about the inconveniences, we know what is happening there. It's been a long time project that's going on there. So what was he doing? Sword cutting? Was he supervising? I saw tents where the old market used to be, and all kinds of people. NDC T-shirts, posters of President Mahama. They removed the posters of other people, other parties, and other people from the sides of the street. And it was John Mahama's posters. There were NDC flags. They had brought chiefs and all kinds of people. It was almost like holding a rally. So what was happening there? It was perhaps to just talk about the project that was going on. And then I know that there's a bypass project that is essentially been mostly completed. But they went there also for a ceremony. So I kept asking myself, what is the purpose of infrastructure development? And so I decided this evening, let me give you an example. Because you see, you do infrastructure to open up a country. to make things easier for people, to make development happen. So let me give you two examples of some good infrastructure projects, one in Ghana, one in America. Well, the one in Ghana, many people know. That is the Volta River project. Many people just know about it as the Akosombo Dam. No, the Volta River project. That Volta River project, which was to do so many different things. It's not just for electricity as we now know, the Volta Dam, but it was to also bring opportunities for agriculture development, for transportation from south to the north, and to get into all manner of other industrial development, because the power from the dam was supposed to help us get into the integrated aluminum industry. That is, use our own bauxite, bring it eventually to Valco, and then have Valco process the alumina, and then have industries, downstream industries, who would then use the aluminium produced to come up with household products such as pots and pans, roofing sheets, and so on and so forth. So it's become the thing to push for the integrated aluminum industry. Now, so when you look at an infrastructure like that, it's a development-oriented one. A development-oriented one. And it was good, even though it did not get the opportunity for completion. The 1966 coup happened, all sorts of other people came, the project was essentially truncated. And today, we have not gotten the full benefit of that project. I remember at some point during the former President Kufuor's regime, or his administration, there was talk about going back and revisiting the integrated aluminum project. Well, it didn't happen. President John Atta Mills has come and gone. Didn't happen. President John Dramani Mahama has come, and he's still here. It hasn't happened. That is what I call a defining project, a game-changing infrastructure project, a development-oriented project, one that opened up business opportunities, employment opportunities. And then in the US, there was something called the Tennessee Valley Authority project. It also was a hydroelectric dam. But those of you who know how to go to the internet, go and Google the Tennessee Valley project and learn, educate yourself as to what is it that it did, the development that it brought, and the kinds of benefit that it gave to not just the people there, but people in other parts of the United States of America. And then you go and take a look at, after the Depression in the United States, what the United States federal government decided to do to build highways, same quality highways. So you go to America, you will see I-94, I-75, whatever. They are essentially similar looking, same quality highways that cut across the nation through this vast territory called the United States of America. And then take a look at the impact of those projects and what those projects have done to open up America for development, for industry, for business. And so you can take a small car, a Tico, from the East Coast, let's say from Washington, and drive it all the way to California on the West Coast because the road is good. or go from down south Mississippi, drive it all the way to the Canadian border in a little car, and you'll be okay going up there. That is development. Those are game-changing development. Now, when I compare the Volta River Project, Tennessee Valley Authority Project, the highway system project in America, to what we are doing, that we want to celebrate, that we want to clap for, that we are saying to people, look at what wonderful things we're doing here in Ghana. And we're still stuck at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange, or is it called interchange or an overpass? The one going on there. And then the Kasua one. And we think that we're doing something wonderful that is going to contribute to development. It makes me wonder, don't some of our leaders travel? And when they travel, where do they go? And when they get there, they don't see what the people there are, what those people there are enjoying. If you go to America, you just can't help but see what they've done there, or to London, or to France, or to wherever else. Don't they see the difference? And then, what really makes me, I don't want to say angry, because there's no point being angry. Let me use the word upset. What upsets me, and what makes me dissatisfied, and makes me wonder, what sometimes strike leaders when they are sitting there. And you know, I've been there, so I know. What makes me wonder, how can you say that you are building a road, and you say you are opening up a country, and so you are building an Eastern Corridor road from the south to the north, and then you decide that you will construct the kind of road that is being built there, and you think it is good? Go to the other side, from Wenchi all the way through Bole, Bamboy, going to Wa. Well, a lot of noise has been made about that road. But go there now, go there today. Drive on that road. You will weep. It's my tax money, it's your tax money, and the poor quality road, I don't want to call it a highway, that has been put there, that so much noise has been made on State of the Nation addresses, reading of budgets, Bole Bamboy Road, so on and so forth, from Wenchi going up there. Why? Do we deserve inferior roads? You see the road from Accra coming to Cape Coast. Why? Take a look at the quality of that road and go and compare. Compare that one to the Eastern Corridor one. Compare that one to the one going to Wa from Wenchi. And you decide which is a better quality road and why the difference. Why the difference? And, you know, they used to talk about the Bordier Asankragwa Road. You know, budget reading, State of the Nation addresses. Go there today and take a look at how bad that road has become. Hasn't been there long. So why do we take infrastructure projects to be something that we just put something there, just to please people, just to get some votes? And then we stand out there to say, look at us, look at what we have done. Isn't it wonderful? As an American, you there, share as often infrastructure. The car ponen kankara, car ponen, and also bridge, I can see. Oh yeah, papa. Now why me yo, midzi yo, papa, there. Ghana meme. Them the pino abason ko Morocco and Cran. If you Elmina at Narco and Cran. The Makotu there. Amampenyin John Dramani Mahama. A Juman or Kodo or Kaswa Honum. What Boho say? What to yum? Workers Akasi or whom? It be zero to know whom. There, oh, yaza na mum workasa so do twi obinim obi a wa hwe no akohwe Morocco do wo Kwame Nkrumah circle honum wa kada yazi onu nti na mesede awankasa hwehwe ko abakosamam history na kohwe the Volta River project and Chozerba or the Bibe and Chozerba then Chenya ya bauxite obo boame yeza ye dwuma mo bauxite no wa badan aluminum my yezi tum yeza ye nzama horo wo hia hia men ono ye azikase edwuma papa project papa na kwa America men meso hona abefu computer azi internet ko ho na kohwe Tennessee Valley Authority kohwe edwuma kasa wayan wo ho odi puntu kasi odi kwa America men na kohwe America for one highways atintina kasa itumi di car katikati ti de bia tiko katinkati ana so inde ye tiko na bi no boto car katinkati e botuma bia baye miles baye ohaisia na zroko na zreba hwi yawaka oma America fu otumi tukwan nkro nkatinkati na wobebe ama nkofo okrabo hwe edwuma tourism baby a woko itumi fi America ne ase ho ekwa zoko Canada ye baby a akodo wo bi ne mem he wo bi ne mse ekɔ ho bi obi a wa ba ma panyin wa Ghana bia no so wakɔ ho bi ekɔ ho bi ministers ahoro wakɔ America wakɔ London wakɔ Germany America yin so wakɔ wakaye bohwa adzefo ana ono pede wakaye no asem wechi no waba kada o yi abrofo wazi ehe yazi no ofa kakra bibi fa mahem na hwe car kwana Minister of Finance abaka ho asem omanpanyifo abaka ho asem Boleban boy if you wenchiriko wa if you just kan hoda azurko eserim what's the Eastern Corridor Road Shaza worry or hodma what's all your car quan papa. Warren's Francasa for when you are for a car to do. Na encarnage in a way I was a crowano, coffee. Amuna wabba demo ho. Na body as and congrats and so coffee, no the worst why. Ni a kaka, a bidum bacade, oh, I hear politics. Infrastructure development is not politics. It is not for politics, it is for development, it's for life, it's for business. It's for business. That is what we should look at, and that is what we should do. That's one of 3 topics. And what let me just go back to my messages. Then she said, Obi come as some. Someone has sent me a message. He says, oh, you are talking about highways in America. Talk about train yards also. Train yards. Hey, mama kind of fancy. Me pe train basa me say yem da me pa do onyim da me pe train ho asama train what's name me pe train pa in the Samoko America. So if you Washington airco New York me mfa car na medical me mfa plane na medical me tsena train him na train bi wo ho a wo fra na Acela o content na train so etnema I work at first class. I pay it in business class. I pay it in economy. I said, it's not them train you train our air conditioned room. Train our internet view. And this I pay a wage ma, but my wage ma internet, BBI, but my room. Said in first class and I pay there. Say bonum wino, say ewo enumen sana, bonum fruit juice, sabati the pedizo, nina comfortable. Wa kombo to him. Train. Now, more there woman there train station. Only them the them in Pakono other bram was a train yards. Train station. Train station. America, a hoopy or echo. New York, one over Penn Station. Echo Washington also from Union Station. Nekwa train station kakra kanara. Beautiful building. Kasi. Nekwa shops. Menka shops in Kitinkiso. The shops are what ton? The bottom koto suit papa woho. Tie papa woho. Restaurants. Ahro. Which make it the banahro wohonum. Bookstore nazi woho. There clean. What so? Train station, train station. Na Bragana nabo here. Yet train station put a grow. Train na the lines nara. Train order for duno. I want the yimpa otinado otonazi. My train line no. Who's offering line no say or tracks no. Does not train off for duno. Train, buntu manka train ne tire. Train o send your tire or your tire or that is there so okodo. I don't know be more offering when them what the sense do. And what can hatta one them wo. And anyway as papa. I as papa them say when you some way so other harbor. I don't know be or kawasa mas or masam war. Or the train as some thereby. I can train as some other I'm a may you crowdy. Someone says, Doc, nice program. I'm a teacher. I want you to focus more on the senior high school student. There are a lot of strategies there. Okay, Marty. Obviously, that's something there. Also, my paying my hammer today, or the secret bogu, Obia, and the bottom. Now, obviously, why? Wabra, wash my hand, a juma who na we gugu. Na a juma bearing you have for embabun. Visit the sika wako hand bottom. Only Nasimo ono Orubisa. Obi so said our friend Amos, no also Kumasi. No 100,000 cedis in his account. I want to start some real investment. I need advice. The last week we talked about what not to do. And we also said if you have some money and you want to save it somewhere safe, or put it somewhere safe, please check the credentials of whoever says, I'm a bank, I'm a fund manager, I'm an investment bank. Do the checking yourself. Find out how long they've been in business. Find out what their asset base is. Find out what they have been able to do. Menforce can come out ubia. Obese nezamo bisika ninya oyezin. So check the credentials of the people, because as I've been saying constantly, we don't have deposit insurance in Ghana. Even with the investment houses we have, there's no insurance. If someone messes up your money and they collapse, your money collapses. If you don't take care, you yourself will collapse. We're going to talk about taxes. We'll talk about it very briefly. But before I do, some of the text messages. Kwesi from Akosombo says, Doctor, good evening. I weep for this nation. If leadership was about borrowing big to spread so-called projects, then everyone can be president. Someone called Felix. He says, I'm a product of UCC. believe that's University of Cape Coast, and spent more than a year with ADB, but I was not taken on. Please, can you help secure a place at your bank? There's someone called Felix who's looking for a job. Unfortunately, there's a lot of young men and women looking for a job. Someone says, my name is Walker from Cape Coast. He says he has now relocated to Elmina. He says, people like you are the ones we need to listen to, not those politicians who come and lie to the masses for votes' sake. And you know, something many people don't realize, this program, Ghana Great and Strong, maybe some of you are listening or hearing or watching about it for the first time. But we started this program December 2012. December 2012, after the 2012 election. And it's been running consistently since then. So this is not about elections. This is about how to make our country, Ghana, strong and its people prosperous. Nelson Henyon from Volta Region, Aflao, says, Daddy, I need advice. I have 70,000 Ghana cedis and I need advice how I will invest it, and I have 2 kids and a wife. Well, I'll try and have someone talk to you. And someone also is asking the question about taxes. Please, if you are elected, how are you going to let tax affect the music and movie industry? There is another person, well, Evans from Sakura. He says his concern is how student nurses' allowance could be restored, because it is really expensive now. Going on clinicals during vacation is really expensive for some of us. Well, someone is referring to what I said about Kwame Nkrumah Circle. He says, you are very right about that inferior overpass which is going on at the Nkrumah Circle and at Kaswa. When they travel, question number 1, what do they see? Question number 2, what do they bring home specifically, like Tete Kwashi did when he brought cocoa? So those are his questions. But let me talk about tax. Tax. A two na wajijino. Ekrobia emani bia ojijeto. America for wajijeto. English meme for wajijeto. German for wajijeto. French for wajijeto. Ekrobia emani bia ojijeto. Na eto nso wajijida wazibaye mpuntujuma. Wajijida aban obejina ho. Na waye bibi papa odama nemba ikro nemba mikro mama fauna mfaba chamba hono fatu hubi badi injina Ghana heyara na se aban aso bajijitoa ye ehenum na abirbiare yetua to no ye hen ana all the hen ye sunzi na abirbiare odini try to do yedam no ewiazi woye no ewiazi aban biara oye ejumazen ana ochima ohwehwe ne kronum bani hinara no hwere hwana na otuato hwana na ontuato hwana na hen wie firi no hwana nom na ye gye hon ekir na ye enkrofo kakrebe bi na abiri biara wotuato no ana wohwehwe hwan maka bibi nchiro amezi minyim de aban onya otu da America sepe ana wafa ne phone no afra se ofra se revenue authority se VAT so hwan mo Also here, them papa no one question. Nejuma no also do one. Utio to wana untio to. Honor ankasa utio to wana untio to. Aban moyenyin. Moyenyin. Oncheri bia da penesi an intim. Obi no wo ba hejumum. Wo hwehwe. De yetio to wa. Na mo mepere meka kire hon de se ehwo na ehwo pa na wo hwehwe bibi. De wo de tiema on wonya bi. O sende emi wotetim wo adwumam ye. Me hyase ewa America mem. Bibi me ye adwuma wo no, e accounting firm a wo friend Deloitte and Touche. Me ya partner wo ho. Na ho no won won say wo ma awankasa enkere e ma ankasa area what wankasa what tax no ho adwuma. Adwuma ku nara obohwe de awore etua what to ana ntua what to no. Tax na etua na ntua na ankasa wa ye no ho webunu nkontai no ga amo de betua de pepepe na anyin ana abane ze wakaw ana eza abane kaw na wo income tax return wo krate no odeko afibia onam de nsiru no me wo America hia na me ye me baga na hanso afibia me ye wo mam da pe na ebien wo mu de me eto na ono odo mutia 2015 afiwa basin kwen me de man ho krate me de boko Ghana Revenue Authority the tax return onini samadi wona kawa matro no ho sika check ana sika no wo hwe kasha na me aka kam hon so wo de me kawo sama aka che wo de me kawo so da afibia da me ye hein ejumako ahurubia akobusum na ewie ya ibisa ode payroll tax wontia ono we are social security wontia so ode etua pension ho sika wontia so VAT ode etua wontia wotua ne hina awie ansana wotua hian ejumaya kaw hian so bane yin se mesra honara ewo hwe bibi ada ho mu no menko hokra eto ne ze yetua oya hian asati ye beye nemom ememe etua ze ewie no oya abanu so na asati de obi biara no so ore ye adwuma ore nya bibi kakra no onkokọ hwehwe no onkokọ hwehwe no so ntua no to na ya enyenum na abibia ye tua eto no ana ohwehwe ekona ahuru mu a oba baji eto no bi so aka ho de metina mekare mu ema na mo hwe me hu menyu me fifiri no mo de to meka ma to meka me de kọ no onkyere de sika no we bu mu do ana wazi eto no bi so wada abaka ho de se motum ba to kara no motum ba to petrol ebozin ono nkwaso mu kra ono onye correct na menyim de pi nara ebi o ha ne dan odima hai otua taxa otua toa pi nara wodi one dan wodi a company wodi a offices otua toa ebi wo ho wo ye adwuma horo wara otua toa ebi wo ho owa abenim ona nkaso so ewo adwuma bi obebi otua toa wanjiji onu na wonje fakur petrol na wadi bi atodo enzama ahorowa onu onam de onu oye easy ozema abanin sirinu ana onu me friend laziness tax what atodo also nkofo woko abrochir obiara ekada kafa plane no ko abrochir no chede wesika ntina wodi eto no bi so wodi to do ho airport tax na wodi bi ka ho na anya biara all for plane no ko abrochir ana wenya no ho de all kona wakasa pio no ho na wasana ba ebi wo ho a emergency wo ha healthcare emergency orko odoko onu pio bowu ebi wo ho a okohwe adwuma bi wo baby odoko ebi wo ho ohia sika wo baby odoko so let's make sure that taxation in Ghana is not something punitive. You don't punish people who work and who are visible with more taxes. That's not what is done in developed countries. I was going to say civilized countries, but I don't want to use that word. And see, remember, can what a tone wine we hear ye, we send a pedamoko, me the auto de basano, the pedamoko on Sudan Sana, and the ye. Someone called Teacher Kofi from Abradunko. He says, "Good evening. When are you coming to Abradunko? The people are dying to see you in person." Abradunko, Yaboko. Raymond Asari from Odumasi says, "I wish you advise this particular government because they borrow too much money." Raymond Asari, Amina Mankaka. Makapi. Maka, now also Kabi. Say, "I ain't 9 year Ghana for. Ain't 9 year Ghana for." Someone has just written very simply, "Message for all humanities." There are some messages I can't read. Joe from Mankasim says, "I really enjoy your program, so kindly extend the time duration for us." Joe, well, let me get to my last topic. Let me get to my last topic. And it's about coalition. Looking at the time left, I don't have enough time to talk about this coalition topic. But let me just maybe begin a little bit. You know, if you go to the dictionary or you go to the internet and you put in the word coalition, the definition you get is coalition is an alliance for combined action, especially a temporary alliance of political parties forming a government or of states. So it says it's an alliance for combined action, especially a temporary alliance of political parties forming a government or of states. Well, let me use just this briefly, and then next time I'll get into this a little bit more. I'm bringing this definition to you because some people, when they hear me say coalition, that I'm interested in encouraging the political party I'm a member of, the Progressive People's Party, to explore the idea of a coalition with other parties, with individuals. Some of them immediately they say, "Oh, why don't you merge with this party?" Please, the definition says alliance for combined action, especially a temporary alliance of political parties. Not a merger, please. That's not what I'm talking about. And then remember, this one also says an alliance for combined action, especially a temporary alliance of political parties forming a government or of states. Why am I concentrating on these words? Well, every now and then, someone from NDC or someone from MPP says, why don't you come and support us to win? Why don't you come and help us to win? America and Kabum coalition. It was a combined action, one kind of individual action, not help someone to do something individual by themselves. That's a combined action. And then obviously, Bob Wahena, young win election. I am not about helping somebody to win. I want a combined action with other parties, individuals, so that together we win, and together we form government. Together, combined action, we win, we form government because of my belief. My belief is that some of the best brains, some of the best minds in Ghana are not in political parties. Some of the best brains, some of the best minds in Ghana have not been put into only one political party. They are spread, they are all over the place. And a lot of it, the majority of the best minds we have, those people, they are not members of political parties. You don't even know them. So I believe a coalition of individuals and political parties will gather some of the best that we have. Not just to win election, but so that after winning, an administration can be formed that brings the best that we have together so that Ghana can be great and strong and the people prosperous. So we can move away from these small showcase projects that don't go anywhere. So we can stop these mediocre, short-lived projects. So we can have the same kinds of quality highways, the same kinds of infrastructure, the same kinds of schools, factories, and so on and so forth that the Americans have, the Germans have, the British have, the Japanese have. So we too can live on this earth as God's chosen people who are not put here to suffer and die, just like that. As I'm saying this, someone writes, Mr. Pa, would you consider a merger in the future with your sister parties to break the political yoke of the NDC and the MPP in the coming general election? You, the President, Abu Sakara, Vice President, and Dr. Mahama as the Chief of Staff. Well, interesting proposition, but you are also using the word merger. I am talking about a coalition, an alliance for combined action, a temporary alliance of political parties and people. Another person says, Dr. Indom, after the program, please watch and listen to this video I've sent you. It is a powerful message for all humanity. Well, I'll take a look. I'll take a look. And someone says, my name is Babamu from Sakogu. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Says, Dr. Papa, please, this time around, you have to stretch your campaign much to the north, and inshallah, it shall be well. Where in the north are you suggesting I should go? You know, I've been to Giza, I've been to Tatale, I've been to Wolensi, I've been to Wechao, I've been to Wedana, and so on and so forth. Well, you tell me where it is that I should go. Someone from Nelson Opon from Commend the Dominancy says, we need people like you to help build Mother Ghana. Well, I believe this is where, unfortunately, we'll have to end our program this evening. Yambir Nasa. Oye Nkabom Adwene Coalition. On Eba Jimbir na ya sana review na ya baka ho asem yi so do ohia mam me Jesus de ohia ma wara so na nya de abato ebi nko power ebi onko abanim yo nko tin na America me be si na emani ye nya ho na ho adwene mu odo onwo na wo bibi ho nyimzi anwana obotum wa ye adwumadzen wa ye ne ye ememani we gene nandoma awonso wa abrabo wa koyi otamo ono ɔno na mɛka ho asɛm ɔno nti na yɛhia abana ɔbaba yɛbɛfa iyi fi party iyi fi party iyi ɔnka party biara ho nso ɔwɔ nyimdzi yɛhia no nti ɔmbɛka ho ne yɛhia yɛmbu mani mani ɔnyɛ yie ɔno ne ho asɛm ɛna mɛreka ɔno n'asɛm ɛna mepɛ dɛ mede gya wo obi biara a waboa nyimpa okita camera ɔretwa mfanyin ɔmo na wɔwɔ wɔhyɛ akyiri hɔ wɔkyinkyim efir ama awɔ radio do ɛtie anaa wɔ sɛ ɔwɔ television do tumi hwɛ meda wɔn nyinaa ase ɛndɛ yɛn producer Samuel Obing ɔno na ɔwɔ Ocean 1 TV wɔ Elmina ɔwɔre nkyɛre yo ɔse awɔre yɛ dɛw wɔyɛ wɔhu na wɔn bisa na medzi masam medzi rekɔ ewie yi mepɛ dɛ bɛka bibi medzi ma mankasa meyer ho kafo ɔyɛ Ewuraba Sarah obi anyim de wɔfrɛ no Mrs. Yvonne Indo yim dɛ ndɛ ɛna ne nua kakraba yɛnya yɛfrɛ no brother wɔfrɛ no Elijah ndɛ ɛna yɛkora yɛkɛsie no wɔdzi mfe 48 ɔnyɛ panyin ɔnkyɛre biara ɛna yame ɔfrɛ no sindɛ ne yɛkɛyɛ som ɛwɔ chapel dam wɔ Edna yɛkɛsie no na mesrɛ nyame n'adom akokodur meze ma ne maame ɔyɛ Mrs. Emily Sterling ne maame Abirwa kyonyi de osi de ne maame Abirwa okokɛsie ne ba nso ndɛ osi nyame mpapa ne nankasa ne nyinsoa ɔmfama no ɔma no akokodur ma ɔnkɔdɔ ara na ɔntena hɔ na yɛn nso yɛhia no Elijah ne nuanom ne busuafo nyinaa so nyame ɔnka wɔn ho awo biara ahwɛ me ndɛ etie m'asɛm meda wɔ ase wɔfrɛ m Papa Kwesi Indo